listing class. I feel like I should be moved over here.
This meeting is being recorded.
So this is on a listing class with Command and DocuSign. No matter what you do with listings, whether it's listings or buyers, you always start in Command first, and you start by entering your contacts, which you click on the little person over here to get to your contacts. And then you would hit Add Contact. And then you fill in their name, their email, their phone number. You always want at least those 3 pieces of information in here, because that's the way you're always going to be able to contact these people. So also when you have it to do your 36 touches, I think it is now, your touches or emails, anything that you want to do, you just want to make sure all the information's in there so you can continue to contact these people even after the sale is done. So once you add your contacts, you would just hit save. And if it's 2 sellers, go ahead, add your second seller. I'm just going to go in here and pick a random person. I think I might have myself in here, possibly. I do. I have myself in here twice. I don't know why, but I do. So I'm just going to choose myself as the buyer, or the seller, I should say. And then you're going to click on opportunities to your right here. You have timeline, the opportunities, smart plans, notes. These are notes that you can create for yourself, tasks, save searches. Close that out. So you start creating your opportunity. Click on opportunities, then you'll click on create opportunity. From here, you're going to choose opportunity type, whether it's a listing for regular residential multifamily, or you're going to choose landlord if you're doing a rental. This particular case, we're just going to choose listing, regular listing. You want to change your opportunity name to whatever the property address is that you're listing. So I'm just going to change it to this, where I grew up. You want to put in your listing price. So I'm just going to put a dummy number in here to make life easier. And the commission rate. This is not the full commission that you're getting on the listing. This is the commission that you'd be taking out of that full. So if you're getting a 5% commission on the full listing and you're taking 2.5%, that's the number you would stick in here, 2.5%. Then you can either leave this as is or choose the phase that you're in. You can say it's an active listing and you're staging it, because you might be writing it and your sellers may not be ready to post it yet on the MLS. It might be for another couple of days because they're getting things together. Or if you know you're going to start showing it today or tomorrow, you can change it to here. You can always change the phase once the opportunity is created. For now, I'm going to leave this on staging, and I'm going to hit create. And right there, it created this particular opportunity. So I'm going to now open the opportunity by clicking on it. If there was a second seller and you forgot to add them in like I did, you can go to your co-seller right here and start typing in their name and attach it. So if I want to do this, I can find a person, I can click on it, and it would create it. Sometimes, we all do it, we forget to add a second person. But you always want to make sure that both people that are signing are in your opportunity. This is also where, after that, if you want to change the phase, here's your opportunity phase. So you can change it. So when you're under contract, you can change it to under contract. And then, I'm going to toss it to under contract for a second. Escrow, inspections, appraisal, financing, just so you know where you're at with that particular transaction. We're just going to keep this here. And I'm just going to close out. The next thing I want to do is where this says property, I'm going to click on the little pen to the right here. Open it up. And I'm going to start typing in the property address that is for sale. This is attached to Google. So apparently 153 Palisade Ave is a very popular address, but that's looking for the one. So once the address comes up, you can click on it. And what it just did was it filled in the town, the state, the county, and the zip code for you. And you're going to hit save. Now, I already logged into my DocuSign up here, just to let you know that. So now I'm going to click on Documents here, and I need to choose what type of checklist that we're going for, residential or commercial. This is a residential. So now this is what tells me the documents that I need for a listing. You can see what's required, what's not required. You know, obviously a listing agreement was required. If this was being put on 2 MLSs, it would be here. The COVID waiver, lead paint. COVID waiver is going to be required as long as the state has it in their files, and until BCP tells us that we don't need the COVID anymore, it's going to be required. So just make sure it's in there. And anything that says DS means DocuSign. That means when I click on the right here that says start transaction and I choose DocuSign, that all those documents are going to be brought in for me. So like I said, I already opened up DocuSign ahead of time. So as you can see, the consumer information statement that's in here, that's the commission statement. This is the consumer information statement, the COVID waiver, permission to advertise, the dual agency, seller's disclosure, your lead paint, and your wire fraud. The document not brought in here is your listing agreement.
Do you want me to turn off those notifications?
Sure. Amanda's going to see if she can do something for me that I don't know how to do. Hold on for a second.
Hey, team, we're just gonna try to see if I get those
Those notifications that keep popping up, and I don't know how to turn them off, but Amanda may know how to do that because she's smarter than me with this.
Notifications. There you
I didn't
go.
even know you can do that. Look at that.
I forget where you were, but there.
I am right here.
Zero
Which is
distractions.
fabulous. Sorry about that. But it makes things move a little smoother. So this consumer information statement, just to let you know if you're confused on what this particular document is a document that lets your client know the different ways we operate as an agent. So you're strictly working as a seller's agent, whether you're strictly working as a buyer's agent, a dual disclosed, or a transaction broker. And this form gets filled out a particular way. On the listing side, we always need Keller Williams up in this first box. Your name will always go in this box, and our office goes in this box. And then you'll choose whether you're working just as a seller's agent, a transaction broker only, or whether you're working as a seller's agent, or a seller's agent on properties which we've been acting as a transaction broker. Most of us want to work as a seller's agent and a dual disclosed agent. This will allow us to bring in clients that we might have gotten on our own or through Zillow that are contacting you. Now, just want to show you something. If you go up here to My Docs, open it up. And then you click on Form Templates. You can create templates for your forms. I already have some in here for me, so I would click on Form Creation, and I choose the library. That consumer information statement form is in the KW folder. So, and you can search, by the way. So you can start typing consumer, find it, click on it, and it would open it up. As soon as it opens it up, I'm gonna click on this edit one down here. It would open it up immediately, kind of like it is right now. You can have this form prepped out for yourself. First off, you can change the name up to the left here. It says seller CIS and the little pen. Click on the pen, change it to seller to buyer, whatever it is that you're currently working on. And then you must hit the green check mark over here. If you hit save and close, it will not save the new name that you created for it. Trust me, I've done it 1,000 times where I write it and then I hit save and close and I have to go back in and edit it, and I'll do it like 4 times in a row. So once you click the green check mark, you'll see that that's saved and it doesn't affect the document at all. So on the seller side, you can come in here, already write Keller Williams here, copy it and paste it into this box, put your name in this box and choose the seller's agent and hit save. What's nice about this is if you wanted to create it for the buy side, all you would have to do is hit copy. The form would open again. I'm just going to go to the buyer one that I have. It would say up top to the left here, seller CIS copy, so you can go in and edit the name. Then all you would have to do is remove the Keller Williams from this box, put it into this particular box to the right, because this is the buyer side, and then just choose buyer's agent dual disclosed and hit save. By doing that, when you go to your room, I'm just going to go back to my room really fast. And I'm going to click on documents. When I right click on this consumer, it says apply template. Now we'll have the choice whether we're on the buyer side or the seller side. In this particular case, we're working on a listing, so I'll hit apply. And now that form is filled out for me. And when I open this up now, I'll see that Keller Williams is here, Keller Williams is there, my name is here, seller's agent. There's nothing for me to do anymore. I did this once. You'll never have to do it again. You'll just have to apply the template. Now, the rest of these forms all generally fill in from your details page, which is right here. So on the details page, you're going to hit edit. When you created that opportunity and you put seller 1 and seller 2 on that opportunity, and you put that property address and you put the price, guess what happened? The property address became over here. Your seller's name, your seller's phone number, and your seller's email also populated. And I think that was it. Yep, that was it for this. So here you'd have to actually enter then your client's address. Unfortunately, that doesn't pull in, but sometimes your client's address is also not the same as the property, especially if it's investment property. But the easiest thing is if it is the same, come over here and copy it and just paste it on over and paste it on in, especially if they're the same and you know they're the same. And then you would just choose US. And now your seller's information, like I just said, this is only one seller. If you want to add your listing dates on here, you can. So let's just say we're putting this live on the 29th. My listing amount we had is 500,000. Okay, so that's in there. Your closed, the actual end date of the listing agreement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Jeez, why did that close? I literally count out 6 for 6 months. I'm jumping around. The 29th, so I'm going to go to the 28th. So now my listing dates are in here. When your room opened, your information should have put in this listing agent spot. So your name should be in here, the office phone number. Cell phone number is not in here for whatever reason. I got to add it in. But my email's in here. Our office information is in here. Listing agent number 2. Your listing agent number 2, if you are having somebody co-listed with you, doesn't have to sign the documents. But you do need your broker's signature on NJ documents and Garden. Hudson, you don't. So with that being said, I'm going to add Rob's information in here. I just need his name and his email, just so he's in the system already. So when I go to send documents, yeah, that was correct. It's easier and I don't have to retype it. And I'm just going to hit save. Now, at least with DocuSign, this chunk of your listing is done. You just want to double check a few things. Great. So we know the CIS is filled out. I'm going to open the COVID waiver. As you can see, the address populated from the property details page. The same thing happened here with the permission to advertise. Now, people question this document. This document is giving your client giving you permission to advertise their property for sale, whether it's print ads that you want to do. So if you want to send out mailers to people, or if you're posting this on social media. The permission that you get from a client on a listing agreement is permission to post it on realtor-based websites that filter from the MLS, like njmls.com. Or realtor.com, things like that. But this is for social media really and mailers that you want to do. So as you can see, address is in here. You don't have to worry about that doc because it all pulls from the front page. Dual agency, again, this form is filled out. This form, by the way, people get confused. When you do your listing agreement, this form needs to be signed immediately by your sellers. If you do not get this form signed, you cannot show a property to a client that has contacted you on Zillow or one of your own. This form is the seller giving you permission to show, sell, rent their property to someone that you have as a client or someone else that the office has in the client. Let's say if I had property for sale and our broker Rob had a client, we need the dual agency form signed. So always get this signed immediately because you should not bring a client in that door without having this signed. But as you can see, my name our office. Again, our office information filled out. So because the details page is filled out, this is filled out. Property seller's condition disclosure. They don't have to fill this form out, but you must present it to them. So as you can see again, the office info, the property address is in here, the seller's name is here. They can fill this out when it's sent to them, but they are not forced to, but we have to present it to them. If they don't fill it out and just sign it, that is completely fine. You did your job by presenting it to them. Lead paint, this must be filled out as long as the property was built before 78. Again, properties in here, when they get this, they will have the option to choose the proper answer here, whether they know there's lead paint on the property, whether they have no knowledge, whether they have a report or don't have reports. Little check boxes will come up, and I'll get to that shortly and just show you. And then the wire fraud we also send. The wire fraud is just a form letting them know how not to be a victim of wire fraud. That's all it is. It's nothing crazy. Now, if your property doesn't have lead paint on it, you come up to the add button, you can click on DocuSign Forms. Over to the left here, we have some groups. The first group is residential listing packet. So you'll use this for all multifamily homes, condos, townhouses, single family. So if you need something and you can't find it, it's generally going to be in here. So if you're looking for a no lead paint, go to the search box and just start typing no. And it also automatically will filter and click on it, and then you hit add selected. Plain and simple. If you are putting this listing on NJ and Garden, I have in here, I haven't put in here, just the commission agreement form for Garden. You don't need the property description form. So if you just start typing GS for Garden, I'm going to add it just to show you something. I also created a template for this. And I'm going to choose my sale one. I'll go back and I'll show you, well, I can open it up and show you why I did that. And then I'm going to hit add for Garden at the moment. Now, people might question why I did a template for this. I'm going to open this up and I'll show you why I have a rental versus a sale. They have one form for rental and sale. So in the template, when I opened it up in there, I have this section here will not be filled out, this whole left side. That is all the seller's information, and you won't have that information until it's on the details page. But what you can fill out is the broker name, our address, our office phone number. Because we put the listing price on the details page, it automatically filtered. Because we added the listing dates, start and end dates, it automatically filtered from the details page. But in the template section, I did already add my name, our office. I chose that I was working as a dual disclosed. In the templates form, I checked off that we're not giving a commission to sub-agents, that this is not a rental, so I chose no. I chose yes. I already have it as minus 275 generally on a listing. That's what I do as the minus. So now all I have to do is go in front of it and add in, let's just say 2.5%. You must give to a transaction broker. You don't have to give the full amount, but you do have to give, by the way. This doesn't get filled in, that's your overall commission. So right now I'm just going to add the 5%. Again, what I'm giving out, 2.5. And then I also filled out on the templates page my name, basically your sign-in ID number for Garden, Rob's name because he's our broker, and our office ID number, which is 5243. Now this form is filled out. Once I added that details information from the details page, this is filled out except for the phone number. I forget which box it filters from. And on the rental form, I have it filled out where it's checked off all no for sale, and then I have it yes for rental. If I go back to the details page, if I'm putting this on Garden, that phone number does filter to the form. I just forget where it needs to be, whether it's home or business. So I just put the phone number in all three so it filters over to the form. Now I don't have NJMLS in here, and there's a reason I do not have NJMLS in here. You can add it, you can go ahead and type all the information in. But if you do that, you're still going to have to come back to, I'm just going to close this, still come back to NJ and put all the information in here. And to me, that's double the work. So what I generally do is I log into NJMLS, I'll go to listing maintenance, I'll scroll down to create listing agreement. Now, I'm gonna create a new one, area. Choose the town. I'm choosing that's a residential. You can do this for rentals. You can do it for multifamily. It allows you to do it for everything. You can type in your address that you're looking for. Oh. Okay. Just like you would enter it normally, you're going to do this, but you're going to go to the create listing agreement and you're going to hit next. All right, this is my property. That's my seller. Fine. And then I hit autofill. Now what happened, that things that you don't have to worry about entering is the property address just entered for you, the county, the town, the zip code, the block, the lot, the seller's name, our office ID number and the office, your ID number, your name, the office phone number, your cell phone number. All of this just filtered in there. These are, and as you can see, everything in yellow must be filled out. Otherwise, you do not have a proper listing agreement. So then from here, you just continue to put in the rest of the information, your price, the directions. Just always, exceptions is always no. Phone number, I don't ever publish a seller's phone number. I generally put all 5s or all 1s in this spot. You'd come down, and another thing to do, hit partially save and continue after you fill out the first 3 blocks, because if you accidentally close your internet out, you will lose it all. So you always, every once in a while, just hit partially save and continue. You know, choose your, are you working as a transaction broker, seller's agent, generally what you're working as. Dual commission arrangements. Just to let you know what this means. This means you're taking a commission of 5%, but let's just say it's a family friend or a family member in general, someone you're very close with, and you tell them, well, if I bring the buyer, I will reduce my commission to 4%. You're giving them 1% off. That's what dual commission arrangement stands for. It's going to generally be a 5% overall commission, but if I bring it, I'll reduce it for you, saving you some money. So if you do that, great. If you don't, that's fine. You don't have to. That's totally up to you. But if you do choose to do a dual commission arrangement, you must choose yes. Agreement type. Exclusive agency means that you're not putting it on the MLS and you're not giving any commission out to another brokerage. Generally, we're using exclusive right to sell. Here's the overall commission you're giving out. You put in whatever it is that you want, 275, 250. I just copy and paste. It's a beautiful thing. This is the sub agent. You don't have to give anything. Yes, no. Is it built before 78? Yes. A screen will pop up and yell at you, telling you that you need to put documents in there. Yes, there will be a lead paint disclosure on file. You have to choose that. Just answer these questions are basic. Is it a short sale? Seller's disclosure, when I'm writing up the agreement, I generally leave this blank until I'm ready to go live. Only because I don't know if my sellers are going to fill out that seller's disclosure form that I've sent to them. So you can change that when time comes. And then this is just your basic information. How many rooms? Bathrooms are not a room, so do not add them into your room count. It's bedrooms, kitchens, living rooms, dens, offices. Those are rooms, not bathrooms. Again, number of bedrooms, full bath. Is there a master bath? Taxes. Where do you get this information? You can come up here, go to search and go to your tax search, or I'm going to open up the front page really fast. There's this beautiful button called Real List. I use it quite often, and I'm going to open it. Real List gives you lots of information that will help with your listing. Up here where it says change county, you can change to whatever county your property is in. This property is in Bergen County, so I'm going to choose that. So I'm making sure I'm searching in the right property and it's not bringing up everything. Then all you have to do is type in your address. That's it. Several are going to come up because we saw that it was very popular. See, here they all are. Pagoda, these are all the towns. They're in alphabetical order, but I need Pagoda. So when I click on this, what happens is it tells me that it's 4 bedrooms, that there's 1 full bath. It just gives me some basic information last time it was up for sale. How big it is, when it was built, which is great. You need this information. So look, if you say, oh, it was built in 1924, you can go right back to your listing and scroll on down to these yellow boxes and find year built. You would choose 1900 to 1939. Click back on Real List. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. Here's something else you also can see from here, which is a beautiful thing if you're not sure if it's an investment property. The property address you're looking at is up here, but your owner's address is down here. So this could have been bought as an investment property or a fix or flipper, like whatever they were choosing. So even if you're writing an offer, this is a great tool to look at because you can see that the owner's address is different from the property address, and that has to be on a contract. And you'll also have it again for the details page. This is just local information. Tax ID, your lot and block are on here, but you don't have to worry about filling that information in because it automatically fills it in for you when you created the listing agreement. Tax assessment, and also going to give you your taxes. So 2021 is the most recent year. So you would take this number, the 10002, go back to your, I generally do this piece first, to your taxes, and you enter that in. There you go. Sewer, generally municipal. Water source, generally municipal. If you don't know if there's any easements, if the sellers have no idea, just choose none known. Municipal assessments, we generally don't have municipal assessments up here. So you're going to choose no. If there's solar panel, yes. Is this home for rent and for sale? That's what this means. Yes, no. So these are just little boxes to fill out. Take photo. If you want the MLS to take photos for you and to schedule them, you choose yes. If not, you choose no. Possession. When from the time an offer is accepted is the person going to take possession of this home? Most contracts are 45 to 60 days, so I generally choose a 31 to 60 day. If you know your sellers can't move out before 3 months, then you choose either the 61 to 90, 91 to 120, you choose, or if it's flexible, they want to move out quickly, you can choose flexible. This box here shows the showing instructions. Do you want them to call the agent? Do they need to get a hold of the tenant if it's a rental? Do you want them to use showing time? All the different things, the day the showings begin. Now, something about listings and showings. If you list a property today, which is Tuesday, and you cannot show the property until Saturday, you must fill out a delayed showing form because you're now outside of a 3-day window from when the listing is being listed. So, which I'll show you where that is in DocuSign because it's in there for you. You know, again, these are just instructions on what you want to do here. Do you want the address displayed on the internet? Do you want to add the address to listing to the internet, which is again realtor.com and all of that as it tells you right here. And then your description of the property you want to put in here, you put the description here also. And again, then you're just going to come out and fill this. Is the property on the lakefront? Association fee. Most of the stuff around this area is not. You'll find that more in Wayne for certain areas that there might be association fees. These little details about the property, just that you'd have to fill in, and that varies per property. Lot description: irregular, corner, cul-de-sac, regular. Here's something with realist. And click back over. I'm going to scroll down. What realist does down here, when I get to it, it shows you in this red box the shape of the property. So anything that's a square, anything that's rectangular, that is considered a regular shape. But when you start to get something that are on angles or horseshoes, then you're going to choose irregular property. Another beautiful thing is you can see your property details, comparables. There's all these categories up here. I'm going to click on this little arrow to the right and bring me to the flood map. You need this for your listing. At least on NJ, they require it. Here, it's showing me the property. It's showing me the house. It's showing me it's in orange. And down below, it's showing me what this orange means. The orange means it's out of a flood zone. If it's in light purple, it would be 100-year. It's a color-coded graph for you, so you know if the house is in a flood zone or not. And if your property is in a flood zone, I would then have your clients maybe get a copy of a statement or something, black out part of the information, and then you can post it on the MLS in the document section, or write in the agent section that there is flood insurance and this is how much they pay. A lot of people do like to know that information ahead of time before they can come look at a property to know, can I afford this with the flood insurance besides homeowners? This website's actually a very useful tool because here is it. If your yearbook, and is it in a floodplain? A lot of this stuff is just self-explanatory. It's just information on the home. Again, what does the outside of the home look like? Is there brick, vinyl, aluminum siding? What's the gas or the heating, I should say? your cooling. Is there garage? No garage. Once you have all this generally filled out, you're obviously going to hit partially save and continue. Then you're going to go over here to the right and you're going to hit print agreement. Oh, look, there's a realist button. You can also bring it right from here. I've never noticed that before. So you're going to print agreement. What happened is, okay, I never put a listing date in here. So I'm just going to choose a random date. I said the 29th, and we're going to do to September 28th. Because I never did it from the front. Okay. Possession date. I always put TBD to be determined because we don't know when the possession is going to be. This box is overall compensation. So I'm going to put 5%. Now, if there is another agreement, you can, like if you're doing a dual commission, you can write 4%. And then you can start to write your name in, and then you can also add a text box when you put it into DocuSign. There's not much you can do. This box down here is the way you're going to operate as an agent. Are you going to work strictly as a seller's agent, a transaction broker, or a dual disclosed? You're going to choose yes for dual disclosed because that's what you're going to have your client sign. This box down here, this says anybody who came and saw the home during this listing period, if they come back to me after the 28th of September, because this listing just sat on the market for 6 months and went nowhere, and they want to put an offer in, I'm still privy to a commission for a certain period of time. And we could say that's 60 days. You can choose 60 days, 90 days. Now, let's just say it expires on the 28th of September, and on October 10th, another agent listed it, and then the other person comes back. Guess what? You lost out because now it's listed by somebody else. This is only if the property is not relisted. 60 days. So then you would add your owner's name. And their phone number must be on here. The MLS at any point in time has the right to contact the office and have this listing agreement sent to them. And they have the right to call the owner to make sure that their home, they want their home listed for sale. So if you put your phone number in there and they get you, you're going to be in trouble. So once this page is again fully filled out, you'll hit next. Then you can hit print agreement. If you want to include the worksheet, you can. The worksheet is that whole bottom section that was in yellow. You don't really need to do that. So we're just going to click print agreement. Now, all the work that you would have done in DocuSign, you just did it all. So you're not doing it in DocuSign, and then you're not doing it over here, because you could have taken 15 minutes to type all this in, and then you're taking another 15 minutes to input again. You don't have to. So what you're going to do is go back to DocuSign. You're going to go to add, go to your computer, and pull the document you just downloaded. And you're going to upload it. Now, if you needed the delayed showing form, you're going to go here, go to DocuSign Rooms. We've made this very easy for you. In this residential listing packet, start typing in delayed. It's right there. You can click on it. If you are doing an exclusive, you're going to look for the, oh, we don't have that in there. Okay, we'll go back to look for that. That's in there. Fun thing, you can add multiple documents without having to hit add selected. So I'm just going to click on delayed. Now what I'm going to do is, if I need the waiver, I'm going to come down here and find NJMLS. And now I'm not NJMLS. Yes, NJMLS, that's what I'm working with. And I'm going to type in waiver for waiver. I'm going to hit add. Let's just say this has solar panels on it. I'm going to go to the NJAR folder because that's a state document. And I'm going to type solar panels. There's a reason I'm doing the solar panels. The reason why I'm doing the solar panels is if there is solar panels, your seller needs to have that form filled out before the buyer signs it, because the buyer needs to know what they are getting into, I should say. Whether it's the solar panels are owned, whether they're leased. If it's a lease, they're going to be taking it over, and they're going to want to know how much that lease actually is. So now I've just added several documents in here. My listing agreement's right here that I added in that is filled out. See, look, all this information that you would have manually typed in, it's automatically in here. You don't have to worry about it. Where are the other forms? Okay. This is the solar panel. You would have to manually go in and fill out some information that you would get from your sellers. You know, this is if it's, I think, owned. There's different categories you have to read through. Most people have at least, and it's section E here, that you'd be filling out for the lease. Whether it's a monthly, a quarterly amount, when the lease ends, how much, if it is per month, what the dollar amount is here. And you do fill out this section here, when it was installed, when it expires. This is information you get from your sellers, but you can have this all filled out already, which makes life a little easier for when an offer is in. And then the waiver form, here's the delayed showing form. Very simple. Again, you see huge things in that. The listing date populated from the details page, all the property information, this, that. And then you would just have to fill in this box when it's actually available to show. So if you're listing it on Tuesday, you can't show it till Saturday, it would be Saturday's date. In this case, if you're listing it on the 29th, the Saturday's date would be April 2nd, is what I would stick in there. And then the waiver form, if you're doing an exclusive. And property address, our office, that's all it needs to be filled out. Here's something I'm going to tell you. If you take a listing and know your sellers aren't ready to put it on the MLS for another week or two, but you want to secure it, you need to have an exclusive on it from today until you're ready to post it live. You do the waiver of broker. You would submit this along with your listing agreement to NJMLS in an email. Then the day it goes live, let me go back to NJ. You would go to create, change, withdrawal form. I don't have anything in here because I don't have any live. You would normally be able to see your listings of what's in here. And then you would choose your listing, then choose the change of status form and state that it's going live. I might be able to show you, I can actually show you what that form looked like if I go to the NJ folder. But you can't just take an open-ended listing. You can't just have no listing date. Take it as an exclusive, and then this way too. You get a buyer in the meantime, you can show it the property. Change of status. I'll just show you what this form looks like for NJMLS. When I find it, it's over here. All right, so change of status. I print it right from NJMLS. The reason why I print it from NJMLS is that all this information actually will fill in for you automatically, and then you can do an upload like I did with the listing agreement. But what would happen is you would take your listing that's in the create listing or modified listing at that point, whatever state it was in over here, the pending state. It's slowly going. And then you would go in and just publish it, and then you'd go back to over here. So you would go to one of your listings that are in progress. And then you would publish that listing and then go to create change form. And then it would filter in all this information, our office information, the property, the new MLS number. And then what you do is you would just go to this box once you have it in DocuSign and put like a check mark in here or a couple of X's in there saying that you're publishing it. Your sellers sign it, the broker signs it, and then you'll send that over to the MLS immediately after this has been signed and posted. Otherwise, you'll get a fine that it's been posted late. This prevents that fine. But once you have all the documents in here that you need to send it for signature. Pretty much everything in here, except maybe the delayed showing or change of status form. Some of these you don't need right away, but just for the purposes of today, I'm just going to do select all because I need to send this for signature. I'm going to uncheck the commission statement because we're not sending that out. When you checked all, a new box appeared up here. So what you're going to do is click on this pen, which creates an envelope for you with all of those documents in it to send for signature. Apparently DocuSign's a little slow this afternoon. Wow, really doesn't take this long. But today's going to. There we go. So now all the documents that you need for signature have been created in this envelope. You can change your envelope name up here if you want to the property address. It's up to you. As you scroll down, you're going to get to the first thing here, which is add recipient. You're going to choose pre-tagged roles. Then you're going to choose your sellers. In this case, if you only have one, you only choose one seller. You're going to scroll down till you find listing agent. Now, if you have a garden form in here, or you put in the broker or waiver or form, the broker spot will automatically populate. So I'm going to choose Rob. Now, if you don't have a waiver and you're not putting this on garden, you will not see listing broker on there. But for this purposes, we do. So I'm going to hit add selected. And it's going to bring the 2 names in here, or 3 names in. Slowly. Oh boy. Now, if you didn't have any of those forms in here, you would click on add recipient. You would go to room participants, scroll down until you found Rob's name, check on it, and hit add if you don't have those forms. So once the people's names are in here, you can write your client a message. There's another spot for email subject line. You can do whatever you want. Sometimes I forget that's even there and I don't even write anything. But after you have all the people in here that need to sign, you're going to go to the yellow button up here that says next and click on it. This is good because it lets you review each of the documents and make sure everything is filled out properly. Okay. First form you will see is permission to advertise. Again, property address is here, and automatically the signature for the seller and the date stamp mark is on here. Now, this form does not have a signature in here for the agent or your phone number, because this form can also be used for the buy side of the transaction. So it can't distinguish between the two. So in that particular case, I know my name's in here twice. Hold on. So my seller's in purple. I'm the agent. So I would have to go to this drop down, find the agent, click on the name. I click on signature, and I hit add. I need to add my phone number, so I'm going to click on text over here. I'm going to bring it here. I'm going to go to I'm going to uncheck this field. It's not a required field for me to have to worry about signing at the time of signature. But then I'm going to go to this add text box and just add in my phone number. Now I'm going to scroll to the next form, dual agency. Completely filled out. My seller's signature is here. My signature is here. Lead paint form. Again, it's tagged for my seller to fill out, and then they will get the option to choose the proper box when they get it for signature. Your signature's on here. The bottom half, obviously, nothing's filled out because this is for the buy side. Wire fraud, again, tagged. It's a form you don't have to worry about. Because you chose the template, this form is filled out. And again, your seller's information is put on here. This is the seller's property condition disclosure. All these little boxes for them. It doesn't force them to fill it out, but again, they have the right to. What it will force them to do is sign it at the end. So they leave it blank, they leave it blank. Like I said, you did your job by presenting it to them. I don't think this form is fixed yet. I've asked for it a couple times to be fixed, and it's not. For some reason, it's not making your signature required. So you have to click on this box, then come over to the required field and hit the check mark. So when you send it for signature, you'll get it and actually sign it. The COVID form, again, address is on here. Signatures are tagged. This form here, everything is filled out. All signatures tagged for you. Beautiful. Now we get to the NJ listing agreement. It's filled out the way you need it filled out. Nothing to do there. Here, this page, you have to manually add the signatures. So you're going to come over here, add your signature. Click on the broker's name, add the broker signature. Click on the seller, add the seller's signature, and the date mark that the seller signed it also goes there. This is the Attorney General memo notice. It used to be one long page, it's now 7. I don't know why. It automatically gets attached to NJ listing agreement and it's attached to Hudson's. But they're now making it required for the seller to sign. So when it says date up here on the left, you're going to choose the seller's date stamp, click on it. Signature. It only requires one seller to sign this, by the way, not two. Their form, it is what it is. Then you're going to go up and click on your name, because it'll be your name, because you have to sign it also, saying, yes, I presented this to them. Then you're going to click on the commission agreement form, which is the third one. Again, go back to add your signature, the broker's signature, and the seller. I find it's much easier to have to add these 10 to 12 signature date stamp marks much faster than typing this form out and then redoing the same thing. And we'll scroll down a little bit further. What do we have next? Delayed showing form. Again, once you put in, you know, it would be in this spot here, what the when the properties can show again, then this form is all tagged for you. Tagged for the agent, the seller, the broker to sign. Waiver of broker cooperation. Again, everything is tagged. You don't have to worry about a thing with this form. The nice thing about it, having it tagged. Solar panel. This would be filled out already. You would have filled it out. Actually, I should contact DocuSign and get this so it's the proper responsibility of the seller to fill out, but sometimes it's easier for you if you have the information. It's tagged their signature, change of status. If you were doing it manually, you know, if you manually wanted to put in the MLS number, it's tagged. And if you brought it in like you did the listing agreement, you would just have to add the signatures and date marks on it. That's all. And to delete something, so you don't want this here anymore, you can click on that and you can hit the delete button on your keyboard. You can take it and drag it to your left. If you added a signature and it wasn't supposed to be in your name, it was supposed to be like you were on your name, you wanted it on your seller's name, you click on it, go to the right here, and you can do a drop down and you can change it. So like this. This shouldn't be the date mark of the broker. This should be the date mark that the seller signed it. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go to drop down, and now it changed it for me. Well, once all this is done, all you have to do, and you're going to delete this on the bottom because that doesn't need to be signed because you're not changing your sales associate on the transaction. So once it's done, you hit send, and now everybody gets the documents. Plain and simple. Now I'm going to, once everything is signed, you can go back to your, I'm just going to hit back in a minute. The fun thing about this is on something with NJ2. When you go to your listing load here, if you went to maintenance and then click add modify listings, the listing that you put that's in progress, they're here on a drop down. Let's just say you got 4 listings going, you sent them all out for signature over 2 days and one of them signed all the documents. The nice thing of ahead of time is that you can choose whichever one signed. Let's just say this one signed. I can go ahead and immediately click on this add documents, brings me to this page. And I can add per the computer. I can go ahead and already add ahead of time the COVID waiver. I can add the seller's disclosure. If there's other disclosures, the lead paint, delayed showing forms. If you want to choose from the list, or you can create the name. So like if there's a solar panel one, you can just write solar panel, choose the file from your hard drive, and you can upload them ahead of time. So this way, so if like everything is signed today and you're not going live with your listing until Thursday, you can get all your documents in here already. So when you post your listing, you don't have to worry about it. You can do that with any of your listings. I'm going to return to listing. That brings me back to the main page. If you, like I said, you get it signed today, your pictures are tomorrow, and you get your pictures, or you, let's just say you signed it yesterday and you got your pictures today, the pictures were taken today, and you have your pictures tomorrow, but you're not going live, you can go ahead and add all the photos ahead of time on NJ, which is nice. You cannot, by the way, do this. This is my list for my live next week. I'm just gonna finish. No, I'm finished. This asks you if any of them are virtually staged or enhanced. If they are, you have to click on the ones that are and then hit yes and continue, by the way, on NJ, because people sometimes think that things are enhanced. If you have a virtual tour, you can add your virtual tours. You can add a lot of things ahead of time, which is nice on NJ. But again, also, as soon as your documents are signed, open up your command. Go to this opportunity. You're on DocuSign. You can click on Room Docs. And in here, when you click I don't have anything that's signed. So, and I'm not sending this to Rob. Actually, you know what? I can do something very, very quickly. I'm just going to remove Rob's name so he doesn't get this, just to show you. And now I'm going to send this and then take my phone and sign things really fast. I'm going to hit send so the email goes out. I generally don't sign as a listing agent until I've seen my client sign. I can, but in this particular case, I'm going to go in immediately and sign from here. Then I'm going to go in from my phone. And I'm going to sign from my phone from my other personal email. Which one's going to open first, the phone or the computer? Start. Just click on through, signing, everywhere you got to sign. Now I send everything at once to the sellers. I send it to me and the broker at the same time. I send it to everybody at once because it's a lot easier, and then this will also allow Rob to make sure you're getting all the documents signed that need to be signed. No, we're clicking here. No report. Sorry, I'm on the lead paint document, so I was a little confused. A lot of documents. I'm almost there. Sorry, bear with me for a second. So I want to show you guys how to link the documents into Command and what they all look like. But since I have every imaginable document that I put in here, all right. Finish signing as the seller. Rob is also very quick to sign stuff. So if you send him something today, he will sign. He takes certain times, like during the day, to go through documents to sign. Closing that off. I'm going to hit finish on my end. My seller has finished, AKA me in this case, with my fake listing. All right, documents. Sometimes it takes a second for it to like load that everybody signed. See, now it's showing me that nothing's signed. It just needs a second or two to register. Once everything is signed, you will also receive an email. See, look, it's telling me my seller hasn't signed yet. My buyer hasn't signed. You can view your envelope history here. It shows that I viewed it at 1:54. It just takes a few seconds. But once everything is signed, you will receive an email with all the executed documents in it. It gets a little funky sometimes. I know there was an issue yesterday with showing that there was nothing signed. This is what I do sometimes. I have to click in and out. Oh, now, see, now it's showing that everybody signed. Just takes a minute or two to register. So when I go back here, anything that's in green means it's signed. And if you actually click on it, it'll tell you garden commission agreement, signed. It'll always say signed at the end. So now when I go over to command, I'm going to hit the refresh button because I have this opportunity open already. If you didn't have the opportunity button open, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to choose DocuSign. I'm going to click on Room Docs. Listing agreement. Here it is. Residential, signed. The PDF is there. It'll attach it. I'm going to go to second listing agreement. I'm going to type in GS. Find the garden one. Then I'm going to go to the COVID spot. Click on COVID. Either the no lead paint or the lead paint has to go in here because the office needs to know whether it's one. So if you had the no lead paint document in here, that's the one you would attach that you would have signed. But in the meantime, it's a regular lead paint, so I'm going to choose a lead paint. Start typing for consumer. Permission. Oops. Wire fraud. Dual. Seller's disclosure. Just it starts eliminating. So again, if you had delayed, look, spot for the delayed showing, and if you did a waiver, there's a spot for the waiver. So those are actually in there for you to make things easier. Now, every document I had signed is in here, except I did add a document, and it was the solar panel. There is no option for the solar panel because it's kind of rare. So if you come to these three dots, you would click this add document, type in solar panel, document type. It's an addendum. That's what it is. It's in your DocuSign room, and I'm going to search the panel for it. Look, it came up, solar panel sign. I would click on it, and I would hit save. So now that everything is signed, so everything got signed last night, or you noticed this morning everything was signed by the sellers, and you signed it, and the broker signed it, you can attach your documents into NJ. You can't do that to Garden. You cannot upload any document into Garden. They do not have the option functioning. You have to actually email it to them. But you can get everything on NJ ahead of time, and you can get your commands done. And then you would just hit submit to MC, and just make sure you click on the right documents and hit submit. And now your listing is done and prepped on the MLS. It is, all your compliance documents are in here. You've got your stuff there. Most of the stuff that we do is on NJ. So that's not really much of an issue. And then you can just hit submit. I'm not submitting this because it will get kicked back to me because the broker didn't sign any of these documents. So, but that's how you handle command to DocuSign to, really, that's it. And I took a little bit longer to do things. This took an hour for me to go through and show you, but it was also me explaining it to you. On a normal basis, this really shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes to get all of this done, including doing the listing and bring it in. I was just showing you some other options. It may not even be on Garden, so you would never add this form. You may not be doing a delayed showing or a waiver form. You may not have the solar panel form. But all the documents that you need for compliance, to be compliant with the office and the state for that matter, are done. You don't have to worry about it. Compliance with the MLS. Everything is in here. And you're prepped and ready to go over here. So once the documents, like I said, are signed, you can add them in. Once you get your pictures, you can add them in, and you can post your listing live. But that's that. Anybody have any questions for me? There was chat box. I didn't even know we were chatting. No, Shelley, DocuSign does not have to be open to populate the documents back into command. As soon as you created the opportunity and created the room, it's automatically synced and will always be that way. So you don't even need to reopen DocuSign if you don't need to. Or if you like, when it comes time to getting an offer, if you receive an offer for somebody, you don't have to go back to command to go into DocuSign to submit that offer for your seller's signature. You can just go right to your DocuSign, sign in, click on your name and choose rooms. Right now we're in the room, so it's not gonna tell me that, it's gonna tell me to go to e-signature, but you would just click on rooms and it would bring this screen up, and then you would just click on here, click on documents, hit add computer for the document that you need, the offer that came in. You can add everything in here. If they sent you the lead paint that was on the MLS, if they sent you all the documents you had on the MLS and they gave it to you individually, add them all in here so they're in a nice safe place. And then you can just send your contract for signature. That you will have to do a manual adding of names. I wish I had a contract that I could show you something. But yeah, you can do the manual adding of names from there, then go in adding the signatures and stuff and hit send. And then when it comes to the under contract section, all you'd have to do is go back to command and attach the executed contract, attach the waiver, attach the lead paints, and any other document that's in here that may have been presented during, the offer. Then you would go in again, put your commission in, so you get paid, because that's very helpful. I usually, let's just say the offer comes in, You finish, you slowly add all your documents in under the under contract section. I don't generally submit this for compliance until I know I obviously have all the required documents in here, but that I know I have the appraisal in here. If you get the home inspection report, not the appraisal, the attorney writer, but if you get the home inspection report, any documents, addendums and stuff, so I don't submit this piece, this last piece, until I know everything is in here, which could be a day or two before you close, which is fine. Our compliance person is super fast. You could submit it today and 30 minutes from now, it could be done. She's very quick. And then also, you know, if you're missing something, you'll get that kickback email, but your commission, you can go ahead and submit ahead of time into the office. So Jess knows that it's there. That's the biggest thing. Making sure you're getting paid on time. The recording should be available this afternoon. Once we're done, it gets downloaded and Amanda will be sending it out. Tony, you can just create a dummy listing and a dummy transaction in your system. I'm sorry, I'm just noticing that you put that in there for a training mode. So you can go in like I did to NJMLS, create a random listing. If you go to command and you go to your opportunities, like I created this. So now this is sitting in my opportunities. I don't want it in my opportunities because it's not real. So I'm just going to click on all opportunities. I'm going to scroll down to this opportunity here. And these three little dots lets me archive it and it disappears. As you can see, I've done this several times. I have this one, this one, this one. I don't need them in here. So I'm going to click on this 9060. I'm going to archive it. And when I go back to my opportunities, I think I archived it. I did. Okay, it's gone. I don't ever see it again. It doesn't exist. It's not going to confuse me, which I should do with some of these other ones that are in here. This one, archive. I can hit here, archive them all. Nope, I don't want to archive that one. And then your stuff goes away. I'm just going to hit refresh. It's easier. So they've disappeared, and only what's in here. I have lots of dummy ones in here, and then I have other active things that are in here. And even with the room. So when you're ready to close this room out, they've asked for your commission statement, you're closing in 2 days, you click on actions, you click on close room, you can mark it as property sold. Once you do that, you would hit submit, and it actually disappears from this whole room section, so you're not sitting here looking at things that you don't need to be looking at. Any other questions? No? No other questions? Well, I want to thank everybody for attending my class today. If you have any questions or need any help with anything, you can always, I'm trying to remember my email. Yep, that's right. You can always send me an email. Either I will answer or my TC partner, basically, my transaction coordinator, partner, helper, we will answer questions too, because we do this all day long, entering listings for everybody, you know, commissions, all of that. I should hit enter on that so you see the email and not just me looking at it here. All right, everyone, have a fabulous Tuesday afternoon. And again, thank you for coming to my class.